Hey, Karen in class. I was reading Karen's questions or comments or whatever it was earlier about making this thing look a bit three-dimensional. And unless you really built it three-dimensional, it's not going to fully look three-dimensional. But what I did here, I'll show you a couple different renderings that I've done. And I'll show you how I came about this. It's a little more advanced stuff. So there's one. It starts getting some three-dimensionality to it. Here's a second one that's a bit clearer and gets more three-dimensionality to it. And then here's one that's got some dramatic lighting on it. I just put spotlights on it, and you can see we're starting to get some shadowing and stuff like that going on. So I wanted to show you guys how I went about making this thing. Alright, so what I really made here was a wall. I just did a wall. This is literally a wall. That right there is shadow. I can turn the shadows off. There we go. Those are the lights that are just hanging in front of it. But this wall that I made, you can see it's called wall art. So I took a basic wall, the 3 1/8 or whatever, and I duplicated it and renamed it. So I came in here and did the duplicate and rename and made it wall art. And then for the structure of the wall, I came in here and put artwork in for the material instead of it being gypsum board. Okay? And to look at the artwork, this is how I made the artwork, and so I'll make one. There's one right here, and it looks like this. Okay, and I'll show you what I did and what all this stuff means. I'll make a new one here. So I'm gonna go create new material. Right click and rename this thing, so I've got it named Art 2, we're going to call it. Oops, how about a 2? There we go. Art 2. And so there it is up there, top one. For the appearance, what I did was I went in, found that image that Karen had found, that letterpress image. And then if you click on the image, it allows you to adjust it. And so what I did here was I wanted the wall to actually be an 8x8, and right now this thing, what it does is it repeats every foot. See the 1 foot by 1 foot? So it would tile this thing, okay? So I'm going to show you what I mean by that in a second here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK and blah blah blah. Let's see if this side is the right side, if it's the interior. Yeah, there we go. So this right here is what it looks like tiled. Alright. So I'm going to go back in here, edit. So this artwork stuff here, this art 2, what the heck, come on. There we go. This will tile every foot. To keep it from tiling every foot and make it larger, I made the wall itself 8 foot tall by 8 foot wide. So I said, well, you know what? I want this to be 8 foot tall by 8 foot wide. So down on the scale down here, I did 8 foot right there. Okay, so it brings us to 8 foot by 8 foot, and then the tiling, the repeat tiling, I said none and none. So I don't want it to repeat. I just want it to be one 8 foot image. Okay, so I did that for up top here. Now that creates this basic element. I also added on what's called a bump map, and the bump map right here, and it's going to be the same image. Okay, what the bump map does is it creates a fake version of shadowing based upon whatever the image is. So let's see, I'm going to pull this a little bit bigger. So here's that image up there, and as I move this thing up, that image will start to look funny. Look at that, see how it gets all strange looking, but that's also because this image right now is only 1 foot by 1 foot, and so I'm going to scale this one up to 8 foot by 8 foot as well. And there you go. You start to see this thing looking like it's kind of popping out. Alright? So I did that to this thing. And go all the way up to 1,000. There we go. Applied it. We're done on that. Hit OK, OK. Keep going, OK. And so now we get this. So now if you look at this, it looks like there's 3D depth to it. Because what it does is creates a shadowing effect with the bump map. Alright. And then with that, I can come in and we'll do the rendering with the artificial lights just to see it. Render it on high. Since it's only one piece, it doesn't take that long, so not a big deal. But you can do this kind of creating this bump map for any material, and it, depending on how much bump you put on there, it will start to look semi three-dimensional. Like I say, it's not a full three-dimensional because, of course, you would have to literally build those, each of those letters out in a three-dimensional image, you know, like its own little model. Each letter would have to be a part of the model. But this is a way that they do create that effect. That's why they've got this bump map in there. And you can see, if you start looking here, it looks like there's shadowing going on. So this does look like it has depth. And so what I would do for Karen's project is I would literally just place this little wall in front of the other wall of her project. So there you go. See how it's starting to get that. Alright. I would just put this in front of the other wall, and when you click on the wall, you can see that the base constraint right now is level 1. And base offset, I could actually put this up like 2 feet, and it would literally, see, it just jumped off the ground 2 feet up. So it could be like it was hanging on a wall. Okay, so can't really tell there. Let me go back into plan view, and I'll go wall. Get a different wall here, 12-inch concrete wall. We'll put that behind it. And let's see how tall this wall is. Let me, the height, let's make this thing 12 feet. Level 1, apply, blah, blah, blah. 3D, and see how the other one's 2 feet off the ground? So it looks like it's a piece of hanging wall art. Alright, so hopefully that helps.